Hello everybody and good morning. You all look a nice cheery bunch. The last time I was up here was COSLA leaders, so you'll be pleased to know you look a little bit smilier than that lot. But welcome everybody to this event on child poverty, which I jointly lead with Councillor Stephen McCabe. So it's great to see such a fantastic turnout. I'm glad the weather's a bit better this morning as well. So I'm delighted to have been asked to open this event. It's very close to my heart as an elected member and as a parent. But I also came from a background of child poverty as well. So I've really had that lived experience, and it makes me really passionate. It's why I'm here. It's why I'm standing here doing the role that I do. So I was that child that survived off food banks and toy banks as well. So it's really personal to me. But I wanted to make just a couple of points through the introduction that will hopefully resonate and no doubt be reinforced throughout the day, and I'm sure you'll hear the same things. Firstly, I wanted to say that working on this agenda is both a privilege and a responsibility that none of us should take lightly. There is nothing more important in public services than working to ensure that all our children are happy, safe and well, and that they can realise their potential. I'm sure we all know that. And of course, secondly, that this is not new work. There's a strong bedrock to build on and learn from. Local authorities and partners have for decades been supporting low-income families. We've been working hard to support the transition out of poverty, and we've been working hard to get the best outcomes for poorer children. Getting it right for every child is not just an approach, but it's a powerful statement of intent as well. From my national perspective, I wanted to draw attention to the agreement between COSLA and the Scottish Government to provide a minimum £100 clothing grants to those that are eligible. Of course, I know that many authorities are going above and beyond that, and I congratulate those that are. But I think there's some fantastic examples of innovative working in the third sector as well. It's important. And of course, we'll seek to strengthen response by working together with Scottish Government on scaling up best practice and sustaining that practice as well. So we'll be hearing more about some of the local learning and tackling child poverty work during today as well, and I hope you enjoy that. And importantly, I think it's important to recognise that we, of course, share the Scottish Government ambition to lead a step change in approach across two spheres of government to make a bigger difference. I always try and describe this as like a bike. Local authorities are, of course, the front wheel to the government bike. So we want to strengthen the opportunity to work in partnership with the NHS through the duty that sits as a joint responsibility to taking that forward. But of course we need to be realistic about what we can achieve as well. There are many challenges, particularly in the short term, that make the work harder. A sluggish economy, a changing labour market, welfare cuts, benefit changes. Of course, the rollout of universal credit, I'm sure, hasn't gone unmissed by anybody here. But those things impact on our poorest families most. The B words, the Brexit, the uncertainty that might bring, and of course the budget constraints that I'm sure many of us face in our councils as well. And through all of that, levels of child poverty are predicted to rise across the UK. But let's not be pessimistic. Or try to be. There is a lot to be positive about, and I know that most local authorities by now will have established a local child poverty lead. And I know that there's a good understanding out there about the need for step change and what that means. We understand, of course, that our past work has made a difference, but now more needs done. And I know that there's a cohort of national organisations and academics who are also working together to make this happen. And I'm sure you'll hear more about that today from the panel and the guests that we've got here. And I know my own local authority in Midlothian has already indicated that they are looking to that type of support and having a look around as to what's going on. And I think that's a really positive step. And I would encourage any local authority to also do that, engage with the experts. We can all do with support. It's a challenge, and we want to make a big difference for our communities. And just in terms of the term step change, when I think what that should mean, I don't necessarily mean shiny new programmes or reinventing the wheel. I think what we do is good, but I think we just need to challenge ourselves as to how we do things a little differently. The need to engage with our communities on what action is needed and how we use our resources, how we use data and evidence to drive solutions and not just describe problems, how we make a holistic effort, drawing in those council services who have those hands on those levers that can make the biggest discussions but can often be absent from conversations about child poverty. I think it's really important that we start to join up those dots. Stretching our partnership norms to include those who can make an impact, and of course that has to include the business sector as well. And I wanted to finish just by making some commitments on behalf of COSLA. Through our governance arrangements, we will help to develop the awareness of council leaders and elected members, promoting our national leadership and their local leadership through the boards and the leader systems that we have here. We will, of course, listen to local concerns and represent the best interests of local government in our political and officer discussions with Scottish Government, and we look to forge a national and a local alliance that respects what all parties can bring and is mindful of the need for adequate resources to support bold aspirations. And the aspirations that we have are bold and challenging, and I think that's a good thing. But I hope that today is helpful for all of you. I hope that you can develop connections both between yourselves and national support agencies as we seek to support a better and brighter future for our children. Thank you.